Carry on. Continue doing something. She carried on working despite feeling tired. The students carried on with their research project. Despite the criticism, he carried on pursuing his dreams. Count on. Rely on someone or something. Don't worry, you can count on our support. You can count on me to help you move this weekend. I'm counting on you to finish the report by Friday. Give up on. Abandon hope or belief in someone or something. She gave up on her dream of becoming a professional dancer. Don't give up on your goals just because of a setback. He never gave up on finding his lost dog. Hold on. Wait for a short time. Can you hold on for a second? I'll be right back. Hold on a moment while I find the information you need. Hold on tight to the railing while climbing the stairs. Move on. Proceed forward, especially after overcoming a setback. It's time to move on from this relationship and focus on yourself. After the business failed, he decided to move on to a new venture. It's hard to move on from the loss of a loved one. Rely on. Depend on someone or something. I rely on my alarm clock to wake me up in the morning. He relies on his assistant to manage his schedule. You can always rely on her to give good advice. Turn on. Activate a device or switch. Can you turn on the lights? It's getting dark in here. Don't forget to turn on the alarm before you leave. He turned on the oven to preheat it for dinner. Take on. Accept a challenge or responsibility. It's a big project to take on, but I think we can handle it. She took on the role of team leader for the project. Are you sure you want to take on the responsibility of organizing the event? Agree on. To have the same opinion about something. We need to agree on a strategy before moving forward. They couldn't agree on where to go for dinner. The committee finally agreed on the budget for next year. Add on. To include or attach as an extra. We decided to add on an extra room to the house. They added on more features to the software. The teacher added on more assignments for the weekend. Bring on. To cause something to happen, usually something negative. Stress can bring on headaches. The cold weather brought on his flu symptoms. His rude comments brought on a lot of anger. Call on. To ask someone to speak or answer a question. The teacher called on me to answer the question. He always calls on his friends when he needs help. The manager called on the employees to give their opinions. Catch on. To understand or become popular. It took a while, but he finally caught on to the joke. This new trend is starting to catch on. She didn't catch on to his plan right away. Cheer on. To encourage someone by shouting. The fans cheered on their team during the game. We'll be there to cheer you on during the race. He was cheered on by his friends and family. Come on. To make progress, to begin. Come on, we need to hurry. The show will come on in 5 minutes. She's really coming on with her piano lessons. Decide on. To choose something after consideration. They decided on the blue dress for the party. We need to decide on a date for the meeting. After much debate, they decided on a new policy. Depend on. To rely on someone or something for support. She depends on her parents for financial support. The success of the project depends on you. Can I depend on you to finish this on time? Drag on. To continue for a long time in a tedious way. The meeting dragged on for hours. His speech dragged on longer than expected. Some classes seem to drag on forever. Draw on. To use information or experience for a purpose. She draws on her experience to solve the problem. The novel draws on real historical events. He drew on his knowledge to give a great presentation. Embark on. To begin a journey or project. They embarked on a new adventure. She decided to embark on a career in law. We are about to embark on a major project. End up on. To finally be in a particular place or situation. While skating on the snowy path, they ended up on the icy lake. We ended up on the wrong side of town. She ended up on the committee by chance. Brush off. To dismiss or ignore someone or something. She brushed off my suggestion as irrelevant. Don't brush off his feelings, they're important to him. She brushed off the criticism and continued her work. Take off. To remove something or to become airborne. Please take off your shoes before entering the house. The artist took off her glasses before painting. The plane will take off in 10 minutes. Flick off. To turn off a light or switch. He flicked off the lights before leaving the room. They flicked off the projector after the presentation. Can you flick off the television when you're done? Brush off. To remove dust or debris by brushing. The maid brushed off the dirt from the carpet. She brushed off her coat before entering the house. The gardener brushed off the leaves from the patio. Shake off. To get rid of something or someone. The dog shook off the water after swimming. He finally shook off his bad habits and started living healthier. He tried to shake off the feeling of unease. Show off. To display or demonstrate something proudly. Stop showing off in front of your friends. She showed off her dance moves at the party. The peacock showed off its colorful feathers. Rip off. To cheat or swindle someone. I can't believe they ripped me off with these fake designer sunglasses. That store always rips off tourists with their overpriced souvenirs. He felt ripped off after paying so much for such poor service. Pick off. To remove one by one, usually from a larger group. The sniper picked off the enemy soldiers one by one. She picked off the grapes from vineyard. Can you pick off the tomatoes from the plant? Pull off. To succeed in doing something difficult. She pulled off an amazing performance, despite the nerves. He pulled off a surprise party for his friend. Can you pull off a victory in the final game? Turn off. To deactivate or stop something from functioning. He turned off the alarm clock and went back to sleep. Can you turn off the lights before leaving? They turned off the water supply to the building. Put off. To postpone or delay something. The marriage was put off because of rain. The bad weather put off our plans for a picnic. She put off making a decision until she had more information. Call off. To cancel something. The company called off the conference because of low attendance. I had to call off the dinner party because I got sick. She called off the engagement after discovering his lies. Log off. To disconnect from a computer or online session. Remember to log off your computer when you're done. She logged off the website after finishing her work. He always forgets to log off, leaving his accounts vulnerable. Doze off. To fall asleep unintentionally. He dozed off during the boring lecture. She dozed off while watching TV. Don't doze off while driving, it's dangerous. Hand off. To pass something to someone else. He handed off the documents to his assistant. Can you hand off the package to the receptionist? She handed off the responsibility to her colleague. Break off. To separate or discontinue abruptly. They broke off their engagement after a disagreement. Can you break off a branch for me from that tree? He broke off a piece of chocolate for his daughter. Wipe off. Remove something by wiping. She wiped off the spilled coffee from the table. Can you wipe off the marker from the whiteboard? They wiped off the mud from their shoes before entering. Sign off. To conclude or finish, especially a broadcast or message. The news anchor signed off with a cheerful goodbye. She signed off the email with her usual signature. The host signed off by thanking all the guests. Do away with. To get rid of. They decided to do away with the unnecessary paperwork. The government plans to do away with outdated laws. Can we do away with this broken chair? Do over. To do again. She had to do her homework over. If you make a mistake, you should do it over. He didn't like his drawing, so he did it over. Do up. To fasten. Can you do up my dress? Make sure to do up your coat, it's cold outside. The kids were taught to do up their shoelaces. Do without. To manage without. During the hike, we had to do without many comforts. Can you do without your phone for a day? I can do without dessert tonight. Do in. To exhaust. The 5-mile jog in the scorching sun really did me in. She was done in after the marathon. The intense workout did them in. Do for. To be suitable for. These shoes will do for the party. This color will do for the room. That explanation will do for now. Do off. To remove clothing. He did off his hat as he entered. The child did off his shoes quickly. She did off her gloves before eating. Do with. To need. He could do with a rest after the trip. They could do with more space in their apartment. I could do with a cup of tea right now. Do up. To renovate. They did up the old house. They did up the kitchen last year. The house was done up beautifully. Do down. To criticize unfairly. He always does me down in meetings. The boss did him down in front of everyone. They did him down despite his efforts. Do over. To redecorate. She decided to do over her bedroom. The living room was done over nicely. He plans to do over the garden. Do out. To clean thoroughly. We need to do out the garage. They did out the basement in spring. He did out his room before moving. Do up. To wrap or tie. Please do up the gift with a ribbon. They did up the box with colorful paper. She did up the parcel carefully. Do around. To deceive. Don't let them do you around with false promises. He was done around by a fake offer. She felt done around by his lies. Do under. To ruin. He was done under by the workload. The financial loss did them under. The scandal did his career under. Do away. To abolish. They plan to do away with the old system. The company did away with outdated policies. The school did away with uniforms. Do up. To repair. He did up his car last summer. They did up the fence after the storm. She plans to do up the old boat. Do in. To kill. The villain did in his enemy. The harsh conditions did him in. She was done in by the assassin. Do over. To assault. The robbers did the shopkeeper over. He was done over by thugs. They planned to do him over for revenge. Do with. To relate to. This book has a lot to do with history. His comment has nothing to do with the topic. What does this have to do with me? Ample. Enough or more than enough. There was ample food for everyone at the party. They had ample time to prepare for the test. The new office has ample space for all employees. Candid. Honest and straightforward. During the meeting, he was very candid about his concerns. The feedback was candid and helpful. His candid opinion was refreshing to hear. Diligent. Hardworking and careful. He is a diligent student who always completes her assignments. His diligent work ethic impressed his boss. The gardener was diligent in tending to the plants. Eager. Very interested and excited. The children were eager to open their presents. She was eager to start her new job. He is always eager to learn new things. Grateful. Feeling or showing thanks. She was grateful for the help she received. We are grateful for your kindness. He sent a grateful note to his teacher. Humble. Not proud, modest. She gave a humble speech, thanking her team. They lived in a humble cottage in the countryside. Despite his success, he remained humble. Innovative. Using new methods or ideas. She came up with an innovative solution to the problem. The company is known for its innovative products. The team used innovative techniques to improve efficiency. Jovial. Cheerful and friendly. He had a jovial personality that made him popular. She greeted us with a jovial smile. The atmosphere at the party was jovial and lively. Luminous. Giving off light, bright. The room was filled with luminous decorations. Her watch has a luminous dial that glows in the dark. The artist used luminous colors in the painting. Brisk. Quick and energetic. They took a brisk walk in the park. The sales were brisk during the holiday season. He finished his work with brisk efficiency. She spoke in a brisk tone. Coherent. Clear and logical. The presentation was coherent and easy to follow. Her essay was coherent and well organized. He gave a coherent explanation of the process. Devoted. Very loving or loyal. She is a devoted mother to her children. The nurse was devoted to caring for her patients. They are devoted fans of the band. Efficient. Doing something in a way that saves time and energy. The new machine is more efficient than the old one. She is an efficient worker who always meets deadlines. He found an efficient way to solve the problem. Fragile. Easily broken or damaged. The package contains fragile items, so it was labeled with a warning. The vase is very fragile. Handle it carefully. The fragile peace between the countries was at risk. Generous. Willing to give more than necessary or expected. He made a generous donation to the charity. They received a generous offer for their house. He is always generous with his time. Harsh. Unpleasantly rough or severe. The teacher's harsh tone scared the students. The light was too harsh for his sensitive eyes. She received harsh criticism for her mistakes. Immense. Extremely large or great. The project required an immense amount of work. The building was of immense size. They felt immense relief after hearing the good news. Jubilant. Feeling or expressing great happiness and triumph. The crowd was jubilant after the victory. She gave a jubilant shout when she won the prize. The team was in a jubilant mood. Keen. Very eager or enthusiastic. He has a keen interest in photography. She is keen on learning new languages. The dog has a keen sense of smell. Adversary. An opponent or enemy. The two adversaries met on the field for the championship. The hero faced his adversary in the final battle. In the story, the main character outsmarts his adversary. Call out. To shout or say something loudly. The teacher called out the student's name for attendance. She called out for help when she got lost in the forest. The referee called out the foul. Figure out. To understand or solve a problem. It took me a while to figure out how to assemble the furniture. I need to figure out what to cook for dinner tonight. Can you help me figure out this math problem? Point out. To indicate or draw attention to something. He pointed out the mistake in my report. He pointed out the landmarks as we drove through the city. Can you point out where the nearest restroom is? Run out. To have no more of something left. We ran out of milk, so I need to go to the store. The company is running out of funds to continue operations. Don't forget to check the fuel gauge, we might run out of gas. Find out. To discover or obtain information about something. I need to find out what time the movie starts. We found out that the meeting has been postponed. Did you find out who won the game? Speak out. To express one's opinions or beliefs openly and publicly. She spoke out against the injustice in society. It's important to speak out when you see something wrong happening. He finally spoke out about his concerns at the meeting. Stand out. To be noticeably different or better than others. His talent really stood out in the audition. The red dress made her stand out in the crowd. Among all the applicants, his resume stood out the most. Calm out. To relax or become less agitated. He needed some time alone to calm out after the argument. The meditation session helped her calm out her mind. Taking deep breaths can help calm out nervousness. Knock out. To defeat or render someone unconscious. The boxer knocked out his opponent in the first round. The medicine knocked me out, and I slept through the night. The storm knocked out power to the entire neighborhood. Blow out. To extinguish a flame with a sudden rush of air. He blew out the candles on his birthday cake. The wind blew out the match before he could light the candle. Be careful not to blow out the fire when you open the door. Back out. To withdraw from an agreement or commitment. He backed out of the deal at the last minute. She agreed to help but backed out when she realized the amount of work involved. Don't back out now, we're counting on your support. Blackout. To lose consciousness or memory temporarily. He blacked out after hitting his head on the ground. The stress caused her to black out during the presentation. The patient blacked out from the pain. Breakout. To escape. The prisoners broke out of jail. They managed to break out of the routine. A rash broke out on her skin. Check out. To leave a hotel or verify something. We will check out of the hotel by noon. She went to check out the noise outside. You should check out that new restaurant.
push ahead. To continue with something. We will push ahead with the plan. She pushed ahead with her studies. The team pushed ahead to finish the project. Push aside. To ignore or disregard. He pushed aside his fears. She pushed aside her doubts. They pushed aside the criticism. Push around. To bully or boss someone. Don't let anyone push you around. He got tired of being pushed around. They pushed around the new kid. Push back. To resist or delay. She pushed back the meeting time. The employees pushed back against the policy. He pushed back on the idea. Push down. To press something downward. She pushed down the trash. He pushed down on the lever. He pushed down his feelings. Push for. To advocate or support. They are pushing for change. The group pushed for new policies. She pushed for better conditions. Push forward. To advance or proceed. We need to push forward with our plans. She pushed forward to meet her goals. The project pushed forward successfully. Push out of. To force someone to leave a place or position. He was pushed out of the group. They pushed him out of the company. The changes pushed many employees out of their jobs. Push on with. To continue with an activity or effort. She pushed on with her research. He pushed on with the project despite difficulties. They pushed on with their journey. Push for. To advocate or strive for something. They are pushing for higher wages. She pushed for more funding for the project. The group pushed for new regulations. Push down. To apply pressure to something. They pushed down on the brakes. He pushed down on the lid to close it. He pushed down on the gas pedal. Push over. To knock something or someone down. The bully pushed over the smaller kid. The wind pushed over the fence. He pushed over the vase by accident. Push aside. To dismiss or ignore something or someone. He pushed aside his doubts and took the job. She pushed aside the negative comments. They pushed aside the old methods for new ones. Push off on. To pass responsibility to someone else. He pushed off the task on his colleague. She tried to push off the blame on her assistant. They pushed off the project on the new team. Push for time. To be in a hurry or short on time. I'm really pushed for time. Can we talk later? She was pushed for time and couldn't stay long. We're pushed for time, so let's get started. Push across. To convey or communicate. He pushed his ideas across clearly in the meeting. They pushed across the importance of teamwork. The message was pushed across to the audience. Push away. To reject or distance oneself. She pushed away his hand in anger. The dog was pushed away from the table. He pushed away his emotions and stayed calm.
Break in. To enter by force or to interrupt. The burglars broke in through the window. He broke in while she was speaking. Someone tried to break in last night. Bring in. To submit something officially. To earn or generate money. She brought in her completed application form. She brings in a good salary. Please bring in your homework before the end of the class. Call in. To request someone to come or to report. They called in a specialist for the job. The manager called in all the employees for a meeting. When the car broke down, we had to call in a tow truck. Check-in. Register when you arrive somewhere. We need to check in at the hotel. Did you check in for your flight? He checked in at the front desk. Cut in. To interrupt someone speaking or move in front of someone. She cut in while I was walking. Don't cut in line. She cut in during the dance. Drop in. To visit without an appointment. She dropped in to say hello. Feel free to drop in anytime. He dropped in on his old friends. Fill in. To complete information on a form or to substitute for someone. Please fill in this form. Can you fill in for me tomorrow? She filled in the details.